it's interesting to compare against the phoneticians who are supposed to be trained on detecting, defining those differences and listening the differences. So interesting to know that does it pay to be a trained phonetician or not? Okay, so subject could listen trials on their own and were encouraged to use as much time as they needed. And the average time, reported time, ranges from a few seconds to a few minutes. So there's very high variation. It totally depending on the listener. And everybody's encouraged to use the high-level information. But try to consider too much on how does it sound the same or not. This might be fooled by the channel. So preliminary results. The machine actually 40% classification error. The best human is 20%. Average 35. All of the we took away the worst ones. Like worst is 60%. And below chance level is 29 listeners. So they have a kind of high number of listeners who did worse than 0.% point. And then the fusion results are here. So variety classifier pool size. Can measure performance here, and so we can get up to 15%, which is lower than the best individual human. So I think it's okay, considering that this is a difficult trial.
This is a fusion between machine and human.
Only humans. Humans are fused in this case.
Only humans are fused.
Yeah, we need to have a separate machine classifier. But
so
this
no, but this human, that means you get a good listeners.
Yeah. So here I'm throwing out. I mean, this is how I vary the classifier pool size. Is that I throw out the worst listeners and see how it performs.
So the hangover people, they are good listeners.
Yeah. But then it gets worse because there's not enough listeners there. And if I use everybody, even the bad ones, I still get the same result as the machine. So that's also kind of interesting. That
it looks like in general it's better than machine.
Yeah.
The fusion.
The average was 30. How much was it? 35. So average is better than machine, but there are many 40%.
No, but definitely you do better than the average.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
So you can go to as good as 15%.
Yeah. And this is done with the fusion that doesn't need any training, so it's majority voting. It's the same as this previous study, the crystal.
So you sort the listener by their performance. First.
Yeah.
But okay. So you assume that this listener in another set will be also good listener, will be still good listener. Yeah,
exactly. But it's not necessarily true, and that's why I need to. I will get the results from everybody from the second set. I will do this kind of randomized trial that I pick randomly from both sets and see how it performs then, because it might not be so equally good for all the sets, and that's actually one of the problems with humans, is that we cannot make systematic decisions. The machine always makes systematic decisions, but the humans maybe not. And so you might be good for some subset, but for the other subset you might do worse. So maybe it depends on the day or how much attention you pay and so on. Okay. So as a conclusion then, so all the literature indicated that human is better than machine in speaker verification. and especially in a general mismatch. Now I think it's we have a preliminary result is that it seems to agree. But for example, in the LID task, where they had a state-of-the-art system, the machine was clearly superior to human. So we will wait to see the final results on this, on our task, to see whether we can add, whether we have the same case that the human is better than the machine, or that the like in LID, that human was worse.
Just also one question. Can you scroll back to the NIST figure? This figure. The first point, how can you get this? In the first point, the green color curve that is equivalent to 0.45. So actually, for the best person, that is 20%, right?
Yeah.
But how can you determine this first person? Value.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so here I think my this bug here. It should go like lower, but there's because I mean, if there's only one person, it should be 20. If I select, it should go here.
Yeah.
But the majority, as I think is also part of the problem with majority voting, is that it needs quite a large pool of classifiers to work well. If you make very different decisions and you have like 2 or 3, then it's random outcome.
So you random choose the person.
Yeah, I mean, if you have two listeners or like 2 classifiers, each are giving binary decisions like in this one, and they are very different decisions. If you have, then it's basically random, the outcome. But if you have a bigger pool and they are uncorrelated, then it performs okay. Like here we can see here that we can actually improve even though.
So the first point is at 2.
Yeah, the first one will be 2. So yeah, the kind of this part is about. There's also interesting this one that we get here worse and then we get better again because we select a different kind of pool. So and this was done exactly like that. That we are sorting by the performance, by the individual performance. But this might not be a good way, a better way to detect using the this kind of a classified diversity measure. But anyways, I think this proves that anyways for the practice, if we want to do this detection, it's better to. I mean, we can select well in this case. But okay, so yeah, so the only parameter that we have is the pool size in this strategy. That's where pool size. Okay. And this has to be. We have to kind of do this cross validation to see that whether the pool size parameter was correctly set.
Nice question. About the machine result, does the speaker ID system use any channel compensation technique like NAP and
yeah, this was 08 submission results.
So our best system.
Okay.
Because right now we are doing the robotics project, and I think using technology are quite useful for the communication partner recognition. So one question is that whether it is actually sensitive to the background noise, because is it similar to speech recognition?
Yeah.
Depends on
Same.
how much background noise you have, how much of mask for speech. Some of them they are really not identifiable.
Yeah. In that set, actually, there were a few trials that were really very high background noise. But you can listen to speech and you can recognize that there is speech and what is said, but it's very difficult to.
So how about, is it sensitive to different languages? Let's say I speak English, later on I speak Chinese.
Not so much. Yeah. But I think if your robot is always in the same room, I think